Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, over $300 million of gambling revenue, $200 million in the last 5 years alone, has been directed from racing entertainment centre slots to horse racing in Alberta. The profitability of the industry is declining, fewer people are going, and there are fewer race days and less money betted. Instead of directing money to support the NGO sector or even to create new green economy jobs, the government throws more money at the horses. To the Minister of Culture and Community Spirit, given the popularity of horse racing has been declining for 20 years, what was the business case for continuing to support horse racing?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, horse racing has been an important and integral part of Alberta's way of life for many, many years. Something that many Albertans feel very strongly about. It's one that it supports revenue that goes to our department, and it supports itself through some of the funds that that flow through our department and help with their breeding programs and other pieces of that. The business case is, at the time, I wasn't part of that discussion, but I know that today, as it was then, horse racing is something that Albertans believe in, and we believe in supporting Albertans.
Well, thank you. Back to the same minister then. How is propping up a particular industry with $300 million, 80% of their revenue in that sector, not in the business of being in business? How's that not so?
The Honourable Minister.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, as we've experienced today, a lot of misinformation. The industry generates $399 million annually in economic benefits. 33.33% of the net proceeds from slot machines located at racetracks goes into community investment programs which benefit all Albertans. 15% of net proceeds are allocated to track operators. 51 2/3% of the net proceeds is returned to the horse racing and breeding industry. In 2009-10, approximately $35 million is expected to be returned to horse racing Alberta for the horse racing and breeding industry. Horse Racing Alberta uses this funding for racetrack operations, infrastructure, and breeding programs.
Member.
Yes, Minister, those are all the same facts that are in the Horse Racing Alberta brochure that I quoted my facts from. Now, speaking of picking winners and losers, what makes horse racing so important to receive the same allocation in funds during a recession as the same as wellness groups or youth recreation and food banks, when they've all had their money eroded? Why is horse racing so important it gets the same allocation?
The Honourable Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the Government of Alberta actually believes in living up to its commitments, and as far as I know, none of those organizations have received less funding from us. You know, we sit here where the member from the opposition talks about, let's promote rodeo, because somehow all of a sudden that day they decided, the Liberals that is, decided that they support rural Alberta. But every chance they get to take a swipe at the hard-working people of this province who happen to be in rural Alberta, they do.
The Honourable Member for White Court, followed by the Honourable Member for Calgary Varsity.
Well, speaking about the hard